Regretting You is the latest in the string of romance dramas that we have been getting, so let's see if this holds up next to any of the other recent ones that have come out. Que lo que, mi gente del Caribe. Thank you guys so much for joining me and for tuning into this episode of Darwin's Room. Today we're going to be talking about Regretting You. This movie stars Allison Williams, Dave Franco, McKenna Grace, and Mason Thames, and it follows a fatal accident that reveals a devastating affair thrusting two families into a spiral of processing the past and deciding how to move forward and prioritize their own happiness. I was looking forward to seeing this movie until I heard some negative things about it, really a lot of negative things about it, but I still wanted to watch it for myself and decide my own thoughts on it, and I will say the negative reactions have been correct. This movie was really disappointing, and it's really just ineffective in most of what it tries to accomplish. But I'll start with the pros because I don't want it to be all negative. So starting off, my favorite parts of this movie were McKenna Grace and Mason Thames. They were both spectacular here. I think they give fantastic performances. I liked how they worked together. They had good chemistry. And with the material that they're given, they do an amazing job. I think they can only do so much, and they somehow were able to do quite a lot with that minimal material that they had to work with and that they had to go off of. Whereas Dave Franco and Allison Williams could have done a much better job. I feel like McKenna Grace and Mason Thames were the heart of the film, and they were the rock and the foundation of it because they are what keeps it somewhat appealing. There's also one really heartfelt sequence between McKenna Grace and Allison Williams that I really enjoyed and appreciated, but you did see part of it in the trailer already, so it kind of takes away some of the impact of it because you're anticipating it, and it's predictable in general. You can guess how things are going to end. It doesn't try to hide it per se, and so therefore the experience is just a little bit boring, a little bit rehearsed, and a little bit typical. But by far, I think the most disappointing part and surprising part of this film is that Allison Williams and Dave Franco, who I think are both good actors, and they've done other great films where they've given great performances, they are very melodramatic and dry in this film, and I was disappointed to see their lack of chemistry. I just don't think that they worked well together. I thought that there was a lot missing there, and I couldn't understand it because these are both, in my opinion, good actors, and they both turn in really faulty performances. As I mentioned also, the story is very generic in the sense that it's predictable, and the way that it plays out is very formulaic as well. We've seen this done before, we've seen it done better before, and so there's really ultimately no reason for this film to exist or this plot to unfold. And so I found that really disheartening. There's also some age gaps that are pretty laughable. For instance, there's a flashback sequence at the beginning of the film where the actors are supposed to be about 17 years old, but they very clearly still look like they're people in their 30s. And I feel like the makeup department, costume department could have done more to make them look or feel younger. But it was just super ineffective. And at that point, they could have even just casted teenage actors and done a little catch-up in between to make it make more sense. But it was super laughable. It looked really bad. It was dumb. It made no sense. My only other issue with this film was some terrible creative decisions. There is, for some reason, throughout the entire film, they thought it was a good idea to narrate text messages, and I found that to be really cringy. The voice acting was off, it felt awkward, and it ruins the experience of the film. And typically, when those moments would happen, it would take you out of that present situation. And sometimes it's a serious situation, and it gets ruined by a really weird creative decision to narrate these text messages that we can read perfectly fine. Or they could have at least presented it in a different way. So I don't know why they made that decision. They should have implemented that differently because it is pretty basic and pretty cringy and very ineffective. So for all those reasons, I'm going to give Regretting You a 1.5 out of 5 stars. This movie definitely wasn't for me. I had a lot of issues with it. I was really disappointed by it. But let me know your guys' thoughts. Did you like it? Did you not like it? I'd be curious to hear your thoughts down in the comments below. God bless you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next review coming soon. Take care.